Know your place, worm. Prepare yourself. Damn Saiyan.
Expergamez has come up with this theory that Jiren loses stamina rapidly, and that is the reason that he hasn't really been fighting in the Tournament of Power. Now, there's a lot of videos that have mimicked this theory since Expergamez has come out with this, and I have to disagree. I don't see it in this way, unless it essentially means that the more stamina that he has, the greater power that he can produce. So say if he's completely at the level of not really using anything, he's rested, he's meditated, all of that, he's at supreme extreme strength, but even just a little bit of fighting brings his extreme strength and abilities down severely. I mean, that would be a way to describe it or explain it, but I'm hoping that this isn't the case, and I don't think this is the case. And again, there are a lot of videos commenting on this. I'm going off this episode that we just watched, episode 107, where we see Jiren essentially do a One Punch Man punch against the liquid Majin Buu-like enemy, whose name I can't remember, and fling him off the arena of the Tournament of Power. And I actually really like this character, the character that he wrung out. He was menacing at some point. He was pretty cool. You know, I love the aspect of him where he was more liquid than solid, and I loved the way that Jiren kind of dealt with him, where, you know, he was about to fight him, but then Dispo came out of nowhere with his supersonic speed and kicked him through a bunch of rocks. But then he easily was overwhelmed, because obviously Dispo is not at 100% strength. He's probably at half or less than half after getting beat by a hit. And so then Topo was about to jump in, but Jiren stepped forward and punched this character with enough force and pressure to push him off the ring. And where have we seen this pressure before? Only two other animes that I've really seen a lot, and anything similar to this, and that is One Punch Man and My Hero Academia. Both Deku and Saitama have had punches where the wind pressure alone blasted through buildings and flung opponents through stuff. So his abilities being extreme and mimicking Superman, I feel like that's more in tune and in line with what what Jiren is and what his power is, than him being, you know, susceptible to losing a lot of his power through losing a lot of his stamina, which again, that works for everybody. If you lose your stamina, you lose your strength for the most part for most characters. So it's not really much of a theory, in my opinion. It doesn't really make much sense. They bring up the fact that yes, Jiren's Pride Troopers, his friends, jump in to stop him from fighting, essentially, or they jump in to defend him. And I think they realize that he is by far the most powerful member on the team, but he is still mortal. He still has limitations. So he could be, I think this is a strategy that they had before they went into the tournament. He could be the one to defeat and win the whole thing. And it's extremely important for him to do so, because if not, then their universe gets destroyed. So it makes sense for them to jump in and try to make sure that he doesn't have to fight at all, so that way he fights the big bad guys like Vegeta, Frieza, and Goku. And when I mean bad guys, I don't mean bad, like I mean like tough. And so that's my consensus when it comes to this theory that, you know, that they're jumping in, you know, because they're trying to make sure that he doesn't use the stamina, because if he does, then he's screwed. I don't think that's the case. I think it's just that they're doing it because it was a planned tactic to make sure that he is at 100% level, while everybody else is using up all their stamina. He still has everything in his power. And I think that in the next couple episodes, when we do see him use more of his energy, when we see him fight Goku, he's going to comment on this. You guys all been fighting, I have not. It's not that I'm extremely much more powerful than you, it's that you are weakened and I am at the level of being rested and having a lot of energy. So those are my thoughts on that. Going further into the episode 107, yes, this is my review. Frost attacks Master Roshi. That's his big reveal after we get through his little backstory. He wants to go ahead and ring out some of these weaker characters. Going after Roshi makes sense. He is the weakest character, but Roshi can take a punch apparently, and honestly it was very realistic with the way it was choreographed, because everything that Frost attacked Roshi with, it was devastating almost to Roshi, and it makes sense. It basically would be what you would think Master Roshi fighting Frieza, or Frieza back in the day would be, and what would it come out to. But even with when Master Roshi at some point jumps in and tries to attack Frost, catching him off guard, he lands a whole bunch of punches, but they don't do much damage, and Frost really reflects the attacks back to him and puts him back on the defensive. But the #1 best technique, and I would say all of Dragon Ball at this point, the Mafuba, comes in to seal away Frost. It sealed away Zamasu. Toward the end of this episode, it seals away Vegeta. I would even think that it would seal away Goku if Goku got caught off guard, which he normally does. It would probably have sealed away Jiren, but again, going into Jiren, they probably would have pushed a little bit on, you know, him having a, extreme energy or something like that, and he would have probably broke the jar or something like that. Just a side note with Jiren, remember he did zoom in on his eyes before he punched, so his power could still be connected to his eyes, or his eyes could reflect the power that he's using, sort of like the Super Saiyan's hair reflects how much more powerful they become by turning Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3. His eyes could do the same thing. I think that there's a connection with the eyes. Going back to the Mafuba, it traps Frost. He misses the jar. Frost is like, holy crap, he's got a technique like this, sort of like Zamasu was. I really like the fact that they're like, oh my god, this really weak character has a really powerful technique, I gotta be careful. But then that's where he comes up with this plan where he's going to trick Master Roshi to use the Mafuba on him again, and this time he will redirect it at Vegeta, and he does this by getting Vegeta's attention. He shoots him with one of his death beams. Vegeta swats it away because it's no big problem. And then we get Vegeta punching Frost through a bunch of rubble, and Frost looks like he's like, yeah, if he would have hit me again, I would have been done. There is no more transformations for Frost, sadly. I thought there was going to be something. It makes sense that there's not, so I'm not too disappointed. He has been running away the past season, I guess, because his crimes have come to light. And Hit was actually tracked down to, destroy him, and he recruited him for this tournament, and going forward. So it makes sense that he's not that much stronger. He actually says he's weaker than he was during the tournament, because Vegeta was like, you might be stronger now. He's not, and there's no new transformation, which is disappointing. I wanted to go ahead and give a quick shout out to on my breakdown of Android 21 video. He comments, yay, the 22 comment and the 1144 view, my bad, and 41 like, and good video, and the drawing is awesome, and Android 21 is hot, and I a sucker for red hair too, and 100% agree with you every bit. So obviously English seems not to be his first language, but he got the point across. Not only did he count what the comment was, where he commented was, and he also commented the view, the like, everything, and I appreciate that level of enthusiasm for one of my videos. The drawing on the thumbnail, I just took a pre-made art by Decasti, and I cut her out of it, put her in this setting where it looks like it's in Dr. Jiro's lab. So that's how I made that thumbnail. And yes, I'm a sucker for red hair. Always have been. I'm glad that we have that in common. So thank you for your comment. When Vegeta gets trapped in the little vial, I was like, oh snap, the prophecy of elimination theory is gonna become true. Vegeta's gonna be the next one to be outed out, and in such a punk way. He's gonna be thrown out in a little jar over the edge of the arena, and you know, I was assuming that this is going to happen. I was really thinking that this is really going to happen. And then we get probably the best moment from Master Roshi, where he throws like the smallest little attack at Frost, completely misses him. Frost is laughing, but then it flings back and breaks the jaw. Vegeta comes out in his Super Saiyan Blue glory, and he's about to destroy Frost. And Vegeta, he breaks the little boulders that were around Vegeta's ears, and he starts cursing at Vegeta. Vegeta, you know, instantly becomes weaker. He breaks the stage or whatever, pushes him right off. He goes flying into the ether, and then he's done. He's about to take down Frost too. Frost, again, the same thing that's been happening throughout the entire tournament, which at this point now it's getting a little played out. I guess it makes sense, but you know, you don't want to fight an opponent you can't win against. And they make a distraction, they run away. And I guess, you know, seeing as how these characters can fly, it makes sense that you really can't chase these guys down if you don't know which direction they went. But he should be fast enough in Super Saiyan Blue to catch up to, no matter how fast Frost is in this stage. So again, this is overplayed in my opinion. And at that point, Vegeta's like, Roshi, go ahead and ring yourself out. You've done good enough. I got the sense that that's what he was saying. You've done good enough. Ring yourself out and get that sense of being before you die and have a heart attack or die again. He does that. He's like, you know what? I've done what I needed to do. Now it's in the young people's hands. Flies off the ring in the most badass way possible, and then comes back into the stands. Beerus didn't even know half the characters' names, but he knows Master Roshi's name now. Gives him the sense of being, and Master Roshi is fine. How is it that one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most flawed characters coming into this in Dragon Ball Super was Master Roshi? Coming from Dragon Ball Z, I preferred him much better in Dragon Ball Z, even though he was still kind of a creep. In Dragon Ball Super, his premiere episode, when it comes to him about to be joining the Tournament of Power, made him even more of a creep. It was one of my least favorite episodes in Dragon Ball Super, and I really disliked Master Roshi because he was just very creepy, more so that I felt than Dragon Ball Z, even though he did have creepy moments in Dragon Ball Z. But he became one of the most badass members of this whole tournament. He became one of the most badass members of Universe 7. It astounds me that the team working behind Dragon Ball Super went with this direction. Yeah, we know that you think that Master Roshi is unlikable to a lot, and that you may because of the actions that he has had done in the past, or that we made him do, and that he's also the weakest member. But he took out various members of other teams. More than Tien. Tien might not as well have even been there. And then not only that, but he also took a beating from a Frieza race being and lived to tell the tale, which can be said that a lot of Namekians can't share that same story. And then not only that, but he has one of the strongest attacks. Everything combined makes him such a better character, and hopefully he progresses and doesn't revert back to being more unlikable. I guess for me it's unlikable, the creepy, the inherent real creepiness. I think you guys know which episode I'm talking about, because if you've been watching me for a while, I made a review on that episode a while back, and you know my dislike for it. But now he's awesome, and hopefully they keep growing him as a character, that he's not done. He's not finished with his fighting lifestyle, or life cycle. So definitely enjoyed the way that they presented Master Roshi throughout this tournament, and the way that he ended going out on his own goddamn terms. The next episode, bunch of stuff happens, more fights, Goku versus Ribrianne. It looked like at one point Kaba's gonna try to face off Toppo, which I don't even know how that's gonna end up. Probably with Kaba into the ground, and with Toppo's like 500-pound body on top of him, crushing him to death. But the best part of it is we're gonna see we're gonna find out really what an alliance, quote unquote alliance, between Frieza and Frost looks like. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. They're from different universes, and just for being in the universe that might win, it doesn't make sense for him to because if he would have gone to Universe 9, he would have been deleted by now, erased. So let's see what exactly happens. I don't think that there's gonna be like a legit alliance, but I think that Frieza's gonna let some of his, he's not gonna jump in and help out defend some of his teammates on the Universe 7 squad. But Gohan does punch out Frieza at one point in the preview. I love that part. I don't know why, I just do. It just brings me back with all the history between these characters, and it really got me thinking, who's stronger, the new Golden Frieza or Mystic Gohan, Mystic Gohan at this point or Golden Frieza at this point? Who is stronger in an all-out fight? Let me know in the comments below, guys. I think, in my opinion, it would be Golden Frieza, because just we haven't seen that level of intensity from Gohan yet, or that level of badassery from Gohan yet, but hopefully we will in the future. And Frieza, we've seen him really kind of even take a Hakai energy blast and shrink it and all that, so he's really gone beyond all expectation. But let me know what you guys think. Drop me a like if you like my video, and it's going to be Dragon Ball Black signing off.